Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Village of Bartlett. We'll start with our public hearing on truth and taxation, and we'll turn it over to Paula Schumacher.
Thank you, Mayor. This public hearing is for public input on the 2025 Village of Bartlett property tax levy. We discussed the tax levy at the last two committee meetings. To recap, the proposed property tax levy totals $13,354,429. The general corporate levy is unchanged from the prior year, while the police pension levy will increase $471,879. The debt service will increase slightly by $12,040. For truth and taxation purposes, the general corporate and police pension levy combined is an increase of 3.56% from 2024 extension. The debt service levy is 2.5% lower than the 2024 extension. In total, the levy is $283,193, or 2.17% more than the 2024 extension. The 2025 tax rates for Cook, DuPage, and Kane counties will be determined in the spring of 2026 when the counties have finalized the EAVs for the 2025 tax levy. This levy will be presented to the Village Board on December 2nd for final adoption, and the levy will be filed with each county clerk no later than December 30th. And staff is prepared to answer any questions from the public at this time.
All right. With that said, if there's anybody in the audience or on phone that would like to discuss this, please do so by stating your name and your address and stepping up to the podium. Please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Anybody in the audience? Anybody online? No? Okay. With that said, I will close the public hearing at 7:02 p.m. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Village of Bartlett Board meeting for November 4th, 2025. I ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Bannerman?
Here.
Daney?
Here.
Gansey?
Here.
Hopkins?
Here.
Laporte?
Here.
Sawansky?
Present.
President Gunstein?
Here. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you. That'll take us to our town hall portion of the meeting. If anybody would like to address the board, please do so by stepping up to the podium, state your name, your address, and please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Nobody on the line? Nobody in the audience? All right. That'll take us to our consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a board member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at an appropriate point in the agenda. With that said, would anybody like to remove or add anything from the consent agenda?
Mr. President, I'd like to add items F4 and F5. They're just dealing with lift stations, and that really doesn't deserve a lot of discussion at this point.
All right.
So I'd like to add F4 and F5.
Does anybody have any questions regarding F4 and F5?
I did, but Ray was very adamant about it.
It was persuasive?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll follow up with staff.
Okay. All right. Anybody else like to add or remove anything from the consent agenda?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to add D1A because Hugo, we are appointing Hugo, but he's not here tonight, so maybe we can do a special appointment if he's teaching right now, so I'd like to add that to consent.
All right. Any concerns or questions regarding D1A? No. All right. All right. Anybody else like to add or remove anything from the consent agenda? If not, can I get a motion to approve the amended
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry, amend the consent agenda. Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Swansky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
yes,
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the amended consent?
So moved.
Second. Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Swansky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
yes,
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. All right, that'll take us to our president's report, where tonight we have some commission appointments. So I will read off the commission appointments, and then if everybody wants to take a picture of the new Board of Commissioners for the Community and Economic Affairs Commission, we'll do that right after. So with the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint Robert Gorski to serve one-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025, expiring November 4th, 2026. A motion to concur the appointment of Robert Gorski to serve a one-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th and expiring November 4th, 2026.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney,
Second.
seconded by trustee Gansey. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Laporte?
yes,
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Motion carries. With the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint Jerry Cabasco to serve a one-year term as for Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2026. Can I get a motion to concur the appointment of Jerry Cabasco to serve a one-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs beginning November 4th, 2025, expiring November 4th, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Swansky. Carry on. With the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint, I'm sorry, roll call.
Trustee Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
yes,
With the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint Bruce Suffren to serve a one-year term on the Committee of Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025, expiring November 4th, 2026. Can I get a motion to concur the appointment of Bruce Suffren to serve a one-year term on the Committee and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025, and expiring November 4th, 2026?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Swansky. Can I get a second?
Yes, second.
Second by trustee Batterman. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
yes,
Swansky?
Yes.
All right, we're going to the two-year terms. With the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint Dave Weatherton to serve a two-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025, expiring November 4th, 2027. Can I get a motion to concur the appointment of Dave Weatherton to serve a two-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025, and expiring November 4th, 2027?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney. Second.
Second.
Second by trustee Gansey. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
yes,
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes. Motion carries. With the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint Kinga Zotak? Zotak? Okay. To serve a two-year term in the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2027. Can I get a motion to concur the appointment of Kinga Zotak to serve two-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2027?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Swansky, seconded by trustee Daney. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
yes,
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
With the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint Blake Cook to serve a 2-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025, and expiring November 4th, 2027. With that said, can I get a motion to concur the appointment of Blake Cook to serve a 2-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025, expiring November 4th, 2027?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney,
Second.
seconded by trustee Gansey. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Motion carries. With the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint Michael Densford to serve and be reappointed, 3-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2028. Sorry. Can I get a motion to concur the appointment of Michael Densford to serve a 3-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025, expiring November 4th, 2028?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney,
Second.
seconded by trustee Bannerman.
Second.
Gotta be faster than that, Joe. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Motion carries. With the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint Kristen Erickson to serve a 3-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2028. That said, can I get a motion to concur the appointment of Kristen Erickson to serve a 3-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2028?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by
Second.
trustee Gansey. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
You know, before I give you my vote, I have to think about this a little bit.
She's good people, I heard.
You've heard that, huh?
I've heard that, yeah.
Absolutely.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
The motion carries. With the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint Margaret Peggy O'Hare, to serve a 3-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2028. Can I get a motion to concur the appointment of Margaret O'Hare to serve a 3-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2028?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Gansey. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
That motion carries. With the advice and consent of the village board, I appoint Amy Tolsky to serve a 3-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2028. Can I get a motion to concur the appointment of Amy Tolsky to serve a 3-year term on the Community and Economic Affairs Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2028?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney,
Second.
seconded by trustee Swansky. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
I'm sorry, Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
All right. That concludes our appointments for the,
No, we have one more. We have a 4-year term.
that concludes our appointments for the Community and Economic Affairs Commission.
Can I ask a question? Did you get me for Margaret O'Hare?
So sorry. Trustee Swansky? Sorry.
That motion carries. All right. Planning and Zoning Commission, with the advice and consent, I appoint John Borkin to serve a 4-year term on the Planning and Zoning Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2029. Can I get a motion to concur the appointment of John Borkin to serve a 4-year term on the Planning and Zoning Commission beginning November 4th, 2025 and expiring November 4th, 2029?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by trustee Batterman. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
I want to thank all of our commissioners and all the applicants that we had, that motion carries, by the way, that applied I interviewed all of you guys, and I am excited for the new commission and what you guys are going to add to the Village of Bartlett, and your dedication to the town. So with that said, if any of you guys would like to come up for a picture, we'd be happy to have you come up. And we'll come around the corner here, especially with our new chairperson, Trustee Gansey. Again, thank you for your commitment, and I'm sure you guys will have a good time on that committee. First meeting is?
Monday,
Monday, all right.
What time are you going to meet?
6.
All right,
That's a good idea. 6 o'clock is a good time, I think.
all right. That'll take us to, that's it for President's Report. That'll take us to questions and answers.
Okay, good. I've got a couple of things I'd like to mention.
I figured you would.
Yeah, I know, right. We have some November birthdays. We have Tony Fraden, Economic and Development Coordinator. It's the 18th of November. Then we have Sam Hughes. He is assistant to the administrator. His birthday's the 20th of the month. And John Komorowski, he's building official, and his birthday's the 21st. So congratulations on your birthdays, guys. And then also we have some anniversaries. We have Dominic Dedra, IT technician. He's been with us for 2 years. I can't believe he's been here 2 years. Honestly, I mean that. And then Nick Tallarico, our village engineer. He's been with us for 5 years. And just want to congratulate all you guys on your anniversaries and birthdays, so congratulations. And I do have trouble with last names, as you probably can
We just need
tell.
it phonetically.
He did, and I still didn't read it correctly.
Anybody else?
God did that
Is
for
that
me.
it?
That's it. I'm done.
Anybody else?
Oh, yes. I would like to thank Amending, our public works director, Sam Hughes, and Paul Schumann, our administrator, for giving me a tour of the street project last Friday. It was very informative. Nice PowerPoint display on that and what the different options were. We feel is the best option for this project. And then, we took a little actual physical tour of this property. Just to clarify, I know we had a couple of questions. There's a resident meeting coming up, correct?
Correct, next Monday from 6 to 8, right here at Village Hall.
And are we welcome at that?
Yes.
I think you had indicated that there might be a couple of residents. There might be a couple of residents who were not fully committed to giving us the temporary easements that we need to complete this project,
As of right now, yes.
as of right now. After this meeting and everything has been presented to the residents involved, is there a timeline for them to agree, to formally agree to this? And can you tell me what that is?
Yeah, the plan would be at this meeting is when we're going to show kind of where the design is at, Each property will have an exhibit that we will hand to the property owners that are there. So they'll see the easements that will be required and kind of the improvements that would be involved along their property. And then we're working with our village attorney to get the actual legal easements in place. And then we will have a deadline but we haven't set that yet because we want to kind of sit down with the residents, show them what these easements are, show them what the project looks like. But I imagine over the next 6 months, we would be working on getting those easements in place. If we can't get those, then the project kind of gets stalled.
So when would be, just what is the norm, after everyone has received their individual packets, for everyone to come back and say yes or no? Is that 2 months, 3 months? For all the residents that are involved who need to approve this, to come back and say no?
We will set a timeline, but I will say we've met with every resident, and it took several months just to be able to get in touch with them and meet with them. So I imagine it's going to be very similar, but we're going to try to set a deadline. My guess is we will have to keep working on getting responses, but that's where I think the 6-month time frame is our goal, to have a response from everybody from there.
Okay.
What was the reasoning for people saying no so far?
There were only a couple. One, the gentleman needed to see more of where the design is, so we're hoping now that we have more detail that we'll be able to show them how it'll improve their property. So I'm hopeful that we'll be able to get that one. The other one, they didn't want their view of the creek changed, so we're still working with them. I'm hopeful that now that we have more detailed information, they'll be able to see what it can look like, and it'll be a big improvement to the property.
Would one person be able to stop this project?
It depends on where it is. In this instance, it's at the ends, at the street, so we would try to work around that. If it's someone right in the middle, that could get more difficult because their property goes to the center of the creek. It would be difficult to work around that situation. So that's why it's going to be very important that we get those easements.
So this project is in response to residents' concerns, and you have spent a great deal of time and staff hours discussing things with the IEPA and the Army Corps of Engineers and different other people involved in this behind the scenes. So after the 6 months go by, or whatever time limit that you set, is there an anticipation that at some point we just hard stop, say no? We are officially closing this project.
Yes, they'll get to a point, depending on how many easements are outstanding, where we've already pretty much have put the more detailed design on hold until we have this meeting and start getting easements, because we really can't do the project without the easements. So we would get to a point where we would likely come back to the board and say there's X amount of easements. We cannot move this project forward, therefore we recommend, putting the design on hold until future, until we can get easements, and we also have funding that we want to try to pursue, so there's, delays that are going to be associated with that too for various grants that we're trying for. But the easements will be the critical piece, and we don't want to move all the way down spending engineering and all that, and then find out that we can't build it because we don't have the easements. So that's why we're kind of at that point where we need the easements to proceed.
So if after November, next Monday, if we provide this paperwork and provide a date of 6 months, let's just use that as the timeline, then can this be communicated to these residents? That we need a response in this timeline, or we won't be pursuing this any longer?
Right, we've already been, we've been sending them monthly updates as we've done various survey, talking to the county, talking to Army Corps. We've been giving them updates, so we're hopeful that we'll get a good turnout next Monday, where we'll be able to give them more information. There's definitely a large group that are very interested in the project, seeing it through, so I think we will have a pretty good showing. There's always some that aren't available to meet Monday, or if they're not interested in the project all that much, that we'll have to work a little harder to get them to take a look at the easements and sign up, so.
I think that, to your point, we don't want to sit on this for years and have this funding sit there for years.
Correct.
So we will define a timeline that this is going to be a hard stop,
Yeah,
and that money will be reallocated,
To other
at some
projects.
point. It won't be there at some point.
Yeah,
That funding will be gone. And so they need to get together as a community and figure that out, because time is of the essence, both financially, and if you've walked it, which I've walked it with Trustee Hopkins and Dan Dingus and Tyler, it's not going to get any better. It's going to continually get worse, and the more we get water and high water flow over there, it's going to get continually worse.
It'll cost more money.
So the residents need to lean on each other and figure out how to get this approved, because if one resident's saying you can have an easement and the other's not, I think there's got to be some common ground there. We got to be able to figure that out. We can't sit on this for 3 years. This project, you're into it, we as a village are into this for $400,000 right now,
somewhere in there.
and we're earmarking 8 million total expenditure before we meet with any of our state representatives across the board, Army Corps of Engineer, the county, FEMA, whatever we can get to offset those costs. But if we get those funds in and then we decide that we cancel this project, now we've just wasted our leverage with those sources. So I'd like to leave that meeting on Monday with a good understanding of where we're at, or at least within a certain period of time with these easements and the quantity of easements that we need to move this project forward.
Do they realize, like, the extent of, like, the cost and what has been done for this project?
Yes. I think we had a open house back in January of '24. That was all more conceptual at that point with rough numbers. It's still in that $7 to $8 million range. We've locked in on, basically, it's gabion basket, side walls to stabilize the slopes, and then restoration down at the creek and up above. So they've got all that information. Like I said, we've got a link on our website that we've been directing any information. It's got the PowerPoint on there so the residents can look at it at any time. And we've been directing them to that. And then we've been answering questions as things come up throughout the project.
This is a very large undertaking for one neighborhood, and I think they do know what it's going to take to get it done. And I can tell you that we're working diligently with the, different representatives and stuff to get funding to offset this cost. But I agree with Trustee Swansky, we need to put a timeline on both the easement portion of it, and then from that point, then we have a timeline of construction start to completion, so. Is that it?
That's it, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Anything else on your list?
No.
Okay. Anybody else?
How's the town center coming along?
Well, if you've been out there, they dropped the bridge in place, so now they poured some more sidewalk. We've got one more pour of concrete to do, I believe, and then it's a bunch of outcroppings and black dirt and plants. So we're still on track to be done before Thanksgiving. The only thing, there may be railings, depending on what the delay is there, but everything should be in place, ready to go. We're actually scheduled to do the startup of the fountain the week of the 15th. We're trying to figure out exact day. We're trying to get the fountain people out, where we'll start it up, but then we'll winterize it right away, but I'll have people out there to learn it so that in the future we'll take care of it.
Does the warranty start next year?
Yeah. Yep.
The swings and the artwork were taken out, correct?
Correct.
Do you have any?
Artwork.
I thought I remember at the very beginning, we were talking about some like art.
We had swings, we had some options, and at that time, the board chose not to move forward with the swings, but they can always be added later. We have on the agenda the sign. We do have informational signs. I don't know if that would be artwork, but we do have informational signs, kind of a history of some of the stuff, and then more information on native plantings that we've planted and that type of stuff. So there will be some informational signage throughout.
Did the budget get reduced because of the swings? I don't ever remember the swings being removed.
Yeah, we had a base price, and then we had options. We can bring up the March presentation, but if you recall, we had half a runnel at one point, and then we came back with the full runnel, so that price was in there, and then we had some alternatives of sound, or, sound system, lighting, signage, the swings.
No, but trustee Hopkins, right, it was never part of the project, it was.
It was alternates,
It was-
kind of options,
it was-
you want them or not type thing. So it
Yeah.
wasn't as part of the base price. If we chose it, then it went up accordingly. We do have the lighting, the uplighting of the trees will be in there. And then the full runnel of it, we did go with the full
Are we
runnel.
actually putting water in it now?
We will, just to run it, make sure everything is operational, but then we'll winterize it right away.
What types of trees are being planted?
They're called out, I don't know exactly all the ones that are on there. The trees that are currently there there's no more removals to be done, but there are some new ones that will be planted. I could get a full list, but they're called out, I don't.
Can you let us know when you put the water in, what day, if it's only going to be there for like a day?
Yeah, I can let you know when the startup is.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
A ribbon cutting, like over the bridge?
We actually talked about doing that next spring when we start it up would be a good time, because hopefully the weather will be a little better. And everything will be able to stay on at that point, so.
Maybe a polar dip.
Just so we're all on the same page, we all know the swings are not part of this, correct?
We're going to have fish in there, aren't we?
Didn't we, as a board, talk about different alternatives instead of the swings that we just felt a little excessive in costs? So I don't know, did staff ever, maybe look into that, or could they look into that?
We can definitely look into that. I think we talked about putting benches in place of the swings, and then if at a later date we chose to put swings in, they can be added. They were costly. There's a price in here.
Yeah, let's not pull that up right now.
It was costly,
Like
I think that's why, yeah.
100,000 or something. for
around like
a couple.
100,000. I mean, we
For
can,
two.
I think once the
Clarification.
furniture and stuff is in there, we can take a look at this room.
Okay.
Anybody else? You got anything else?
No, that's it. I'm glad we're on schedule with it.
I would like to thank our business community and our police department and Public Works and everybody who was involved in the Halloween trick-or-treating event last week. It seemed to be a pretty large turnout, great weather. Seemed like there was a lot of kids there. I know I was out there, Trustee Gansey was out there. Didn't recognize her at first, but, so it was a really nice event. So thank you guys all for putting that together and keeping those kids safe. So thank you. All right. If nobody has anything else for the board, we'll go on to standing committee reports. Building and Zoning Committee Chairman Hopkins.
Thank you, President Gunstein. There is nothing to report tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Hopkins. Community and Economic Development, Chairman Gansey.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing to report tonight.
Chairman Gansey. Finance Committee, Chairman Laporte.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have one item on the agenda this evening. It's the estimated 2025 property tax levy. The village board discussed the proposed tax levy at the October 7th and October 21st committee meetings. The next step is to establish the estimated 2025 property tax levy. An estimated levy must be established at least 20 days prior to the adoption of the final levy, which is scheduled for December 2nd, 2025. This is a procedural matter that can be accomplished by adopting the motion below. The estimated property tax levy for 2025 totals $13,354,429, a 2.17% increase from the 2024 extension. The police pension levy of $3,153,930 is an increase of $471,870 from the 2024 police pension levy, with $471,870 of the recommended contribution to be funded from the general fund. And I move that the estimated 2025 property tax levy be established at $13,354,429. Any questions for staff?
Well, we need a second, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll second that.
Second by trustee Swansky. Any questions regarding this levy?
All right, if there's no further questions, then we'll move forward to the December 2nd, 2025 meeting.
Okay, I ask the clerk to call the roll.
Trustee Hopkins?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky? No. Batterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, thank you, Chairman Laporte. License and Ordinance Committee, Chairman Batterman.
Thank you, Mr. President. All of the agenda items were covered under consent tonight.
Thank you, Chairman Batterman. Police and Health Committee, Chairman Swansky.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing on our agenda this evening.
Thank you, Chairman Swansky. Public Works and Golf Committee, Chairman Daney.
Well, thank you very much. We had a number of items on the agenda this evening. Items 4 and 5, F4 and 5 were covered under consent. We'll take a look at, 3, 4, and 5 were covered under consent. We'll take a look at F1, which is a resolution approving change order number 1 to the contract between Burke LLC and the Village of Bartlett for the downtown streetscape improvements project. This is the first change order for the downtown streetscape improvement project. This change is for an additional work that is not included in the original scope of work for the project. As directed by the board, a new digital sign is to be installed at Village Hall. This project includes masonry, landscaping, electrical connections, sidewalk replacement, and other hardscaping work. The amount of the change is $116,617.59. This does not include the purchase of the sign, which will be done separately by the village. That being said, I move to approve Resolution 2025-108-R, a resolution approving change order number 1 to the contract between Burke LLC and the Village of Bartlett for the downtown streetscape improvement projects.
Motion by trustee Daney, second by,
Second.
can I get a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Bannerman. Any questions regarding this?
I think this is too much money for a sign that isn't going to change anything for us. It's almost $200,000.
I agree. I think it's tone deaf to vote for a tax increase and then vote for a want and not a need.
I mean, I kind of agree. I look at it from a standpoint of, we have residents down there, and a lit sign like this, I don't know if I would want to be near that.
Just so everybody was aware, this was the direction of the board at the time when the streetscapes project was going on. We were contemplating putting this sign at the streetscapes corner. And it was discussed that the traffic on Railroad Avenue, I believe it's Railroad Avenue there, that wasn't enough to warrant a double-sided LED sign there versus in front of a place such as like Village Hall. So staff put this together to alleviate that concern by putting this in front of Village Hall. Currently, the sign in front of Village Hall faces the same direction as Village Hall, so you can't see it, but you know, we can agree or not agree about traffic, but just, that was the direction that we gave them when we were putting together the streetscapes project.
On March, well, we started the streetscapes project sooner than this. This came up in the March meeting, I believe. And I think we just asked if they could get us some information on it. I don't know that it was supposed to come up for
up or down vote.
Do we want,
Further discussion.
do we want to send this back to committee to talk about?
Sure.
We don't have a committee tonight, but we can send this back to committee to have a discussion about signage and
I agree with you. If there is some concern about what we're doing here, I wouldn't want to kill it because you're 100% correct. When we did talk about that, we talked about the relocation of the sign to this area. And if there are some issues, maybe we could discuss it at a committee meeting. But I don't want to kill this at all because we do need something down there
so.
Why do we need something down there?
Yeah, I guess.
to promote events.
The goal was to get away from the A-frame signs that are lingering all over town, and having the digital message center in front of Village Hall, similar to what you see at
Park District.
Park District or Hanover Park or Streamwoods Village Hall. It gives an update of all the community events that are going on. Paula and me discussed, and maybe Paula, you can bring us up to speed. And the fact that this sign is not for sale for like public use, this is strictly for our events, our meetings.
Yeah, I would see it as, similar like our neighbors have, promoting village information, public information, Village Hall closed for Christmas, that kind of thing. But also all the civic group events that we promote with the banners on the sawbucks that would eliminate the one at the corner of town, right where our new runnel is, to eliminate that. So,
Yeah, when
various events.
When we first discussed it, I thought it made sense, and I still think it makes sense that we have to have some display of promoting the village, and that's one method of doing it, and I think it's a great idea. But if you want to take it back and discuss it again,
I mean, I think Trustee Gansey, you had some concerns on the way it looked,
Definitely on how it looks.
okay?
Also, like, the impact. So now we have every civic group, so is everyone calling Village Hall to ask about organization? Like, I'm going to call Village Hall and ask about Rotary?
Call now. That's not new. And I would like a little bit of direction from the board. If we're looking at a redesign, you don't like the materials, you don't like what it looks like, I would like some direction so that we can bring something back to you to consider if what we have now is not what you want.
Personally, I feel that, this is just my personal opinion, but I feel that kind of sign does not fit with all the work we just did downtown, and I would think it would be better positioned off of like a 59 or 20, or when we realign Bartlett and 20, I feel like that would be,
The Oak Street realignment.
yeah.
It might be,
Like, I feel like that would be like a
Location.
more, like, drawing people in, like, oh, what's going on in Bartlett versus, I mean, how many people are passing here? I do feel like we have done a lot better job with communication to our residents. Like, we had the newsletter, we have the app, so I guess, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, who is this demographic? And I'm not saying that there's not, but just for the cost, I think the cost of it shocked me. Like, if someone put that money in front of me, I could think of like 5 other things I'd probably do.
Maybe this is one of the first things that the new commission can chat about.
Well,
I mean, I'm open to everyone's thoughts. I think
Would-
pushing it back to
I
committee
would like
is
to,
great.
if we're going to push this back to committee and you're going to ask for direction on how we would like this sign to look, I don't want to be giving ideas now on the fly. I'd like a little time to look at what's been presented to us and come up with some different ideas to give you that so that you're not, because I'm not prepared to give you those ideas on the fly.
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know what to bring back to committee if, I don't want to bring, what's
So maybe we could
before
set
you
up a
back.
time frame for us to individually.
Yeah. Dan, is there a particular time frame that we would need a decision on the sign? I mean, it's kind of separate from town center work.
Right, it's totally separate, so there's really no time frame. It's just a matter of when You want the sign up.
So you have plenty of time.
Here's what
I think it's a lot of money.
Did we ask for bids for this
It's
sign?
a lot of money to be spent.
Go ahead, Joe, sorry.
It's a lot of money to be spending. It's okay. It's a lot of money to be spending right now. When we're talking about pensions and raising the taxes, it's a great idea. It looks beautiful. I'm not saying we don't need it. I just don't know that now is the appropriate time. My opinion.
Can we each individually think about this? We'll send this back to committee. It doesn't have to be on the next committee meeting. It can be in 2 committee meetings. Everybody can think about what they'd like to see in downtown Bartlett. I personally would like to see the sign oriented the correct way, not the way it's currently faced, where you can't see it. So if we are going to put a new sign, I think it should face north and south. So as you're going up and down, you see Village of Bartlett versus the east and west orientation that it currently is. I mean, that's just one thing. I'm a firm believer that information in front of your face is the best way. As a guy who has had many of these monument signs like this, I think it is a really good way to advertise events, which we are trying to promote in our town. But I think from a standpoint of your personal opinion, what you'd like to see, landscaping, as you mentioned it, I think everybody should give it some thought and bring it back to staff.
I'd like to see it like with landscaping, but also like what are the parameters? Like how, is this flashing? And then when every other business wants to have one of these, are they gonna be allowed to have one? I guess I'd wanna know like all the ins and outs of.
We would have to follow our sign code, just like our businesses do. So same rules.
Right.
And did we get any bids for this sign, or did we just,
No, it was part of the design build that we did with the streetscape, since they're in the area. I wanted to just mention that it isn't just a sign. It does include sidewalk with the brick pavers from entrance or exit to entrance, along with all the landscaping. So you're pretty much rebuilding from entrance to entrance, the parking lot to parkway, basically. So it isn't just the sign. The sign is, of course, part of it, a big portion of it, but it does include the streetscape in the front of Village Hall
if
as
we
well.
change the sign? You're talking about the labor involved?
This is the labor. The next item on the agenda is for the sign itself.
Which does not include winterization for masonry. Do we know how much that is every year?
For what's that?
Winterization for masonry is not included. How much is the masonry work going to be every year?
The plan was the lead time on the sign, if we were to move forward with that, we wouldn't get it, so they wouldn't start the sign work until spring anyway.
I know, but in the winter of 2026?
No, I think the winterization is building in the winter. We're not paying for winterization to do
It's
the
not
masonry.
winterization, it's winter conditions for
Winter
building it
conditions,
in the winter. So it's
To do
not a
masonry in the
yearly-
winter, you gotta heat it and all that. We're proposing not to build it during the winter.
It's a winter condition.
Do it in the spring, we can save a little
We
bit.
can save money, okay.
So Dan, I would really appreciate if you could break out the costs for the board of what the sidewalk and work is on the sidewalk portion of it, because seeing that impact for a sign, which, could be 75,000 and the sidewalk could be 75,000. Right now, it's put together as a lump sum. Maybe get some numbers together for both signs and sidewalks separate to give us a better indication of the sign that you proposed currently. And then the board can then send all their ideas and we can compile them and see if it's something that, at that point, we want to move it out of committee to the board next time
Can
around.
do that?
I mean, I think I'd like to have a more fluid discussion about it, so.
I'd also like to state, because we keep mentioning that it'll get rid of like the signs on the sawhorses. I guess I want to talk about that then too, like putting something in place at the same time, like that's over.
Well, let's take it back.
Just-
Dan, Mr. President, let's take it back and discuss.
So do we need a motion to move this to?
Yeah.
Can I get a motion to
So
move
moved.
this to the committee?
Second.
Motion by trustee Daney, second by trustee Bannerman. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
No.
Wait, so we're motioning to put it to the committee? Is it,
Yeah, to discuss,
To refer it to committee.
just to discuss this matter farther.
Not being approved.
We're not
Oh, okay.
voting on this at all.
We're just pushing it back to the next committee meeting. or a future committee meeting.
Okay, yes, we could talk about it.
Batterman,
Yes.
Daney,
Yes.
Gansey,
Yes.
Hopkins.
Okay. Next item we have on the agenda for the evening is F2, which is purchase of a digital mounted sign from Pavement Class Sign Company of Carroll Stream, Illinois. And considering the discussion we just had, I'd like to table that if we could, take it back to committee. So I'll make a motion that we also take this back to committee.
Is it committee or tabled?
Well, to committee. We're going to discuss the whole thing at one time. If we table it, we'll have to address it at some point.
Motion to refer to the committee of the whole at a future date.
Correct.
Motion by trustee Daney. Need a second? Second. Second by trustee Batterman. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Swansky? Batterman? Daney,
Yes.
Gansey,
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Motion carries.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's all we had on the agenda for this evening.
Thank you, Chairman Daney. That takes us to new business. Does anybody have any questions for staff? All right, I do have one thing. I would like to know how the new motor fuel tax changes are going to affect our village in the future with the changes downstate.
You're asking about our new,
The
No,
changes
no,
that
no,
came
no.
in the veto
You mean
section.
the transit bill?
Yes.
Taking MFT funds? We don't know yet. We don't know how
It
they
is going to
they
affect us,
plan
correct?
to divvy that up.
It is going to affect us in some way.
It will affect us in some way because they're diverting MFT funds to support the transit. So, but we don't know the details yet on how they plan to, is it going to be a percentage from, different areas? Is this going to be, heavier from Chicago? We don't know the mechanism yet for how they're going to slice that up.
Okay. Same thing with Tier 2, correct? Same thing with the Tier 2 pension changes?
Yeah, we don't have anything definite from them, legislation on it. Devil's in the details.
Okay. And the LGDF is still staying the same? So they're taking our money and taking more of it, so. All right. Any other questions for staff? All right. If not, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Daney, second by trustee Hopkins. They got one in there. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Batterman?
Yes.
Daney,
Yes.
Gansey,
Yes.
Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Thank you,
Swansky.
Joe.
Swansky.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.